We're here with Miguel Geraldes from MTC House. Miguel, thanks for taking some time to talk with us this morning. MTC launched Namibia's first LTE service. What unique value does it contribute to your overall business strategy and operations?
The reasons that we focus a lot to be one of the first to launch 4G, the first aim was not to be the first one. One of the things that we had the need to basically to develop more 3G network. The reason of the 3G network is because we have a huge users in terms of data, mobile data, and 3G was critical to increase the capacity. Although we already improved anything that is possible in terms of the 3G, so we had the only possibility is to develop more base stations. But base stations in Africa, or especially in Namibia, there is always an issue because people are basically opposing to put new base stations. And so because of that, we had limited in terms of putting new base stations. So then we look again to the technology. The only solution that we find out was we need to move very fast to 4G, because 4G will give much more capacity and the frequencies are lower, so means that we can basically, even in terms of indoor coverage, means that the coverage that people are using the services when they are at home. So with this lower frequency, we can basically have much better service to deliver to the customers. In terms of what is the impact in terms of our business, I think 4G, it's going very well. I think it's already after 7 months that we launched the 4G. 4G is already generating more than 30% of the data that is producing in our network, and this is incredible. So basically what we did, so the aim that we received, that offload, means that basically our 3G network is not increasing more in terms of usage, still continuing increasing number of subscribers, but in terms of usage, because we are migrating the heavy users, they are the early adopters of 4G. So result of that, I think we are receiving that results from that decision.
How is LTE relevant to ordinary people's lives in Namibia, and what improvements do you see LTE making to the local population?
LTE per se doesn't mean absolutely anything to people. So what people need, they need to have a proper bandwidth. So they need to have access to internet. This is what the people need. So how can we provide this access? 4G is one of the ways that we can use it. So customers, they are not looking to 4G. Customers, they need exactly what they need is to have bandwidth and to have access to internet everywhere and as fast as possible and affordable as possible. So the 4G basically can help us, the operators, to deliver that service that people need it. And one of the major things of the 4G basically will decrease dramatically the cost per each megabyte or per each gigabyte that people will migrate in our will transmit in our network. So that thing means that the need to be the service more affordable, 4G will give support to the operators to basically to having less costs, that at the end it will be decreasing the cost that they are charging to the customers.
Outsiders may view MTC as having been very aggressive in network investment and business operations. How do you describe your own strategy and philosophy?
I think technology is the basic of our business, although we believe that the technology is a way to an end. So that thing means that technology means nothing. What it counts is what we can have the technology in terms of developing services, relevant service to the customers, and how can the customers understand this advantage of these new services. So technology is the basically to deliver better service to the customers. So all of the elements that you mentioned, 3G, 4G, all of the fibers that we did, basically is to go in the direction of the industry and to provide the latest services to the market. And of course, it's critical to try to choose what are the right technologies and what are the right partners, and I think this is what we did. But definitely I think we are very focused in terms of technology, because this is one of the positions and of our elements. So we believe that we need to be ahead of our competitors in terms of technology. So we need to have the latest of the latest technology.
The United Nations says that broadband is a basic human right. How far is Namibia from reaching this vision, and how can regulators and operators and vendors strive to reach that goal?
That decision of United Nations is critical. I think bandwidth is something that it will be part of our lives. So today, if people will not have bandwidth, so they are out, let's say they are out of the world. So in that regard, definitely it's important that United Nations take that decision, and basically they put that flag and saying to everywhere, to all of the countries, that we need, basically governments needs to focus in this regard. From us, in terms of a mobile operator in Namibia, I think we are doing our job. I think we are contributing a lot. We are investing millions in submarine cables, in fibers covering the countrywide, fibers connecting inside of the towns with the metro rings. I think we are doing our job. Even if there is doubts about that, I think we are subsidizing the devices, that people are critical, because people needs to have a device to have access to the bandwidth. So bandwidth is only one of the elements. So the second element, and we mobile operators, and especially we in Namibia, we are subsidizing devices. We are helping the people to have access to that bandwidth.